Wild stories from the web. He's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures blow. Web3 wonders, chain reactors on the scene. NFT insights and crypto.
Yo. All right, good morning, guys. Okay, question, heads up, question, mic check. Hey, do we have a song playing? Can you actually hear it this time? How freaking embarrassing. Well, I'm not embarrassed, but whatever. We look a little idiotic yesterday getting the legend OSF on yesterday. I hope you caught it. Dude's awesome. What an awesome guy. What a treat that was. And of course, in typical non-fungible idiot style, we kick off the show. I'm rocking out behind the scenes. You guys don't see, but when I got the screen up here, I'm usually rocking out here, thinking everybody hears the song, and come to find out, nobody did. Did you guys hear the song here this morning? I hope so. I hope so. Anyway, GMs, guys, happy Thursday. Moonvember the 7th. Good morning, Raul. Dude, yeah, Uptober, appropriately named Uptober. We finished up. Moonvember also living up to the name so far. So really fantastic to see. What a month we have ahead of us here. Raul, did you happen to hear the opening of the show? Did you catch the audio? Was it playing? I'm going to actually, towards the tail end of the show, I'm actually going to do another test live. You guys can help. I'm sure you don't mind. I'm hoping. Anyway, guys, smash the like on the show if you're watching on YouTube over on SlamX Official. Well, of course, hit the like over there, but also make sure you're subscribed. And also check it out over on X. You can find it at SlamX.io and CryptoSlam.io. Either way, glad to have you on board. And again, just a reminder, OSF Live yesterday afternoon. Catch the replay here if you did miss it. Just, again, hell of a show, hell of a guy. And a special shout-out to him and his whole team. The whole team over there. Big announcement yesterday, guys. Big announcement from Rect Brands. They got more coming this month, too, by the way. I think they got the Rect token, which you couldn't talk about yesterday, but they got their Rect token coming. But yesterday announced a $1.5 million raise. Really incredible, guys. And it's funded really by the community. Now, of course, some of the bigger names, some investors in this community, but great to see. Kind of keeping it in-house. I like that. It's very much this space supporting each other and this space building out kind of from the inside. Very much like this us against them mentality. There's something there, and I really, really do like it. I really do like it. Good morning, Cosmos. Good morning, Gravity and Eric. Again, give me a heads up, too. I can catch the replay after, but if the song played at the intro, on my end, yes, but I don't know. After the afternoon show, I don't know if it actually came through. So, good shit. Okay. All right. Appreciate that. And again, I'm going to try to do a little test later, unless we get in a pretty good flow and time gets away. But I've got another test I need to try. Anyway, guys. Here we are. No, hang on. Let me do that over. I could do that with a little more energy. Motherfucking here we go, guys. The time we've all been waiting for. We call it the Golden Bull. Now, the CIO of Bitwise calls it the Golden Age of Crypto. Pick whatever you like. I like them both. But it is what's coming. It's coming here. It started now. Raoul Powell calls it the Banana Zone. I'm going to go with this just for now. The Golden Age of Crypto. I like it. I was telling, look, I've got a bad habit of getting excited about this stuff and telling my kids how awesome things are going to be because they lived through the past few years when things were awesome. And I told my daughter this morning, I think what's coming ahead of us dunks on that last cycle. That last cycle looks like batting practice. I think that's what's coming, guys. I really think that's what's coming here. The energy is different from last time around. We had the whole Stimmy infusion. That helped a lot. But there's something else happening behind the scenes here. The ETFs, of course, bringing a whole different kind of liquidity here to the game. But it's this. And if you guys work for projects or teams or you're at least tied to them or you're just active in the community and maybe you felt this, maybe you've heard this too. But I can tell you I've heard a lot of people for months now, probably most of this year, talking about what happens if Trump wins the election. I have heard of so many things that are on pause or I should say even being worked on behind the scenes that people are waiting to reveal, to release, till we know what happens with the election. A lot of money sitting on the sideline waiting to come in, waiting for the results we got just earlier this week. And it looks a lot like this. Guys, this is the CEO of Galaxy saying there's a huge shift in energy. I feel it. I hear it. And that hundreds of billions of dollars are coming into the crypto ecosystem. Right? The building and the excitement we had last time around, it's been there under the hood. In a way, man, a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, in the thick of the bear market, I couldn't even imagine it coming back this fast. I couldn't. I didn't see it. I'm usually okay at picking out trends, pretty good, more often than not, and I didn't see it coming back this quickly and this strong. But that is what's happening. And with that Donald Trump victory, I think a lot of checks going to be written, a lot of money being moved around, a lot of investments back into this space, into a much more matured space. I think it's going to be pretty fantastic what we see, and I think it's going to blow that last cycle away. So a lot to be excited for, guys. But the stage was set for this to come, guys, by people, well, raising money, investing in politicians, getting the right people in the right places to help drive this forward. $130 million the crypto industry spent on this election here. We've seen Brian Armstrong from Coinbase talk about this. Right, they have their PAC that they've been using to fund these politicians. And it was a record here, guys. Incredible to see. This is the most pro-crypto Congress in history, and I would expect that to grow every election cycle, too. I would expect that. Because I think, as do all of you, that everyone, I mean it, guys, everyone in the world will be in crypto to some degree. Right? It's like everybody's on the internet. And when you say everybody's on the internet, you know there's pockets where some people don't have access, right? It'll be a very similar thing. But in the same way, everyone has a smartphone. Everyone's on the internet. Everyone has an email address. Everyone uses social media. Everyone will use crypto in one form or another. Doesn't mean to spend, but they'll be touching crypto-adjacent applications and collectibles and what. They're all coming. So that means every politician, everybody in Congress will have crypto exposure or be actively using it. It's exciting to see, but that starts now. This election is a milestone for the crypto industry. Over 250, and actually I think it was 260 plus pro-crypto candidates now elected to office. Exciting, exciting times. We have to shout out Polymarket. The election was interesting. Leading up to the election, nobody had any clue who was going to win. It didn't matter who you were backing. It didn't matter. You had no idea. No idea who was going to win. It's kind of a problem that we don't know who to believe, what polls. Blockchain is a big solution for most of these problems, by the way. In fact, we should do a special episode on that. That would be actually fantastic to put together. I'll work on that. I want to see what, who from the industry I could bring on and talk about what those solutions are. Polymarket is part of that. But casting your vote on chain is also a big part of it. But anyway, here, we give our flowers right now to Polymarket, who did accurately predict this election result. They did. Even though even though those markets swing back and forth and maybe extreme at points, they accurately predicted which state goes to who. They did. Polymarket on October 25th, how it ended, pretty freaking incredible, to be honest. And the story that really sticks out from me, or to me from this cycle, was that the one trader from France who bet, in the end, I think this guy put $20 to $30 million on Donald Trump. A lot of money. And there were times where we wondered if it was market manipulation, if it were bad actors trying to manipulate public sentiment. We weren't sure. We really didn't know. But in the end, I think it's somebody with a lot of conviction who bet on Trump because he believed in Trump, and that bet paid off in a big way. And I could put myself in the headspace where I do think Polymarket maybe is a little more pure. Because if you don't agree with that bet, if you think that's market manipulation, you bet the other side, you make a lot of money. So that platform, maybe the most direct way to measure people's voting habits, their sentiment. Really interesting, but you better believe someone makes a lot of money off this. That does catch attention. France doesn't like it. Reports now coming out that France is looking to ban Polymarket. I think they're calling it like an an unregistered betting platform. This man made $48 million, guys. Holy freaking cow! I wish the platform were a little easier to use. Little easier to use. Otherwise, I'd have probably put some bets on it. But also, you got to use a VPN. You got to bridge money over to Polygon. You got to then transfer it over to your Polymarket account. You got to convert your USDC to POL or POL or POL, whatever it's called, to USDC, right? It's not easy. That said, the same steps you got to use the platform are the same steps somebody in France could use to get around any restrictions put on it. So I don't know how effective that's going to be. I'm not sure, but make no mistake, people don't like seeing, for whatever reason, they don't like seeing you win. They don't. So yes, France is looking to ban Polymarket. Will they be successful? Can they stop it? There's no KYC on the platform, guys. There's no KYC. So I don't think there's a damn thing they can do about it. And that will not stop them. I won't stop them one bit. Let me look through some of these comments, by the way. Get some more GMs going here. 6-hole GM. Dobro GM. Cosmos, it's a great point. Back in 21, who would have thought just 3 years later we'd be here with Bitcoin? Is that ETFs? ETC? I think that's what that was. But either way, yeah, I didn't think we'd grow this quickly. I didn't. I knew how big we would get. I didn't think it would happen this fast. I didn't. And we'll see with Trump. We'll see with the guy. You know, he was a lot of talk last time around too. And that's it's on him to I mean, for me personally, win me over. I think the guy's a lot of talk. That said, he's saying a lot of the right things. And one thing I do like is him saying last time around, he couldn't do the things he wanted to do because he put bad people around him. Again, I don't know if I buy it, but I do like some of the people he's putting around him right now. Let's see if he can be more effective. Because there are certain things he says that I do like. Actually, it's mostly just the crypto stuff. We'll see. We'll see. Excited for it. Anyway, we'll keep our eyes on Polymarket and France. Again, I think it's unstoppable. And if they do ban Polymarket, there's an infinite number of these prediction markets coming. And they can't stop them all. They can't. Just like crypto, you can't stop it. You won't stop it. The end. By the way, the CEO of Polymarket was on CNBC. Let's check out this clip. Actually, maybe not the whole thing. It's 4 minutes long, but I do want to check it out. I've never seen him talk. Never heard him, never seen him.
Yeah, nobody should have looked at it as much as I looked at it. That's all I'll say. After I downloaded the app.
No, you've been one of our biggest champions.
But as it would fluctuate, literally it would fluctuate tenths of a point, and I'd be like, oh no, what is that? Right. But I will tell you one more thing, Andrew, that happened, which it gave me just a lot of power on election night. I was watching, it was either CNN or one of those channels, which I don't watch a lot, but I was watching it, and they were micro-analyzing the remaining counties left in Georgia, and Polymarket was at 89% for Trump in Georgia. And I watched it. They spent 20 minutes pretending that, and she's doing what it looks like it's possible that she's going to pick some up here. And it's like, it's over. I was screaming at the TV. It's over. It's no way in hell that it's going to happen in Georgia for her.
Yeah, on the money. Look, like, okay, there's the forecast weeks before.
By the way, this dude's like 26. Like, how amazing is crypto? By the way, you see young entrepreneurs all over, but crypto is just breeding a whole new generation of them.
I almost called
No, I love it. So there's the forecast weeks before, but the thing that is undeniable was the night of the election, Polymarket was the first destination to basically convey that Trump had won. And it was a good 2-3 hours ahead of media, so much so that people who were watching legacy media, hours later were like, oh, wow, Polymarket has Kamala so low. we were in the office and we were looking at the odds, and on Polymarket, and it looked like a done deal. And if you were just watching TV, you would think it's neck and neck.
Right.
And I think this is a complete shift of the Overton window. It is an inflection point in news, in politics, where Polymarket is.
Not only that, Shane, but
I'll stop it there, but I agree there. Something did change this cycle, or changed well before, but it really was revealed here. I think on election night, it's both the polls versus prediction markets, and I think how you really got to use them hand in hand. You use them both. I don't think you use one or the other. It's both, but also I think everybody saw a major shift with where people are watching the election unfold. And like a lot of you guys said yesterday, you watched multiple different people, multiple streams, some cable news kind of programs, but also some streams. So a big variety of that, and that is a big change. That's a big change here. Again, the change already happened. It just became very obvious this time around. Things are changing very fast here, and it just accelerates here, right along with the growth of crypto. It's a special time we're in here now. It really is, guys. Okay, so we've got all these pro-crypto candidates. We have all this bullish energy building up behind Bitcoin and crypto. And you have big changes coming, guys. At this point, Gary Gensler knows what's coming. I mean, the writing is more than on the walls. I think it's very obvious. The man has a couple choices. Hang on. And I don't know if he can actually be fired. I'm not sure if he can. But the most obvious choice is to resign. Reports from Decrypt that he actually is likely to resign here. How soon could that be? What kind of impact does that have in the short term? Don't know. There are rumors that Hester Pierce is on a short list to be the next chairwoman. There we go. But new reports that it's not going to be her. That very likely it's Mark Hudah. I've heard him before. Smart guy, gets it. He is pro crypto, which is fantastic. And that's all we want. Somebody pro crypto, somebody who gets it. And every so often, you hear from people on the SEC with these dissenting opinions, and they get it. They're like, okay, they're even if they're not one of us in the trenches trading, they get it. And we need those people here in those positions to help steer this. Because like we've said so many times, what's happening, completely unstoppable. Just help give it those guardrails. Help steer people into this space here safely. That's all we ask. Now, there is a big change. I also heard this in a conversation yesterday. This is really, the timing of this is interesting. Had a conversation yesterday who is dealing with the SEC. And again, the election has changed things behind the scenes. To what degree, people don't know. But there is this thought that, look, there's people in the SEC who maybe don't want to fight crypto right now because they like their jobs, right? It's their career. And if you have a pro-crypto administration who is going to go kick out the anti-crypto movement in the SEC, in these enforcement agencies, some of them are going to say, hey, we're chilling for now. I like my job. I'd rather just keep my job and do whatever they want us to do, but I don't want to lose my job. So interesting to have that conversation yesterday and then see this tweet. This is coming from a former Biden White House staffer. No Dems are going to fight crypto to the death anymore. Too many other things to worry about, and crypto has more staying power than we thought. I'll say this, shows how out of touch they are. And I know crypto's early. I know it's early. I know, look, most of us didn't believe in it too until we did. And if I say we're early to maybe the financial upside of crypto, we're also very early to getting it. There's a lot of people who still didn't get crypto, still don't get crypto, and maybe that's all we're seeing here, as opposed to them really understanding it and really trying to kill it. I argue if you really got it, you understand you can't. But anyway, there's a change there. Internally, they're saying that they're not going to fight it the same way, which is very bullish in the short term and the long term. Either way, very bullish for crypto. And I think a lot of people are certainly hope it plays out that way. A lot of stuff, again, behind the scenes has been going on for a while. And maybe, just maybe, these people can actually build the things they've been planning to build. Exciting stuff. Really exciting stuff. Now, that said, there's still pushback from the SEC. They are not going to drop all these cases. Some of them we hope they loosen up, but SEC is trying to get this Kraken what was it? Was it an appeal? But the SEC is still pushing. They're still trying to get these enforcement actions against, first off, the major exchanges, right? They are still going after Coinbase. Binance. Actually, still Coinbase too. We saw Immutable most recently as well. I don't know if we have a major change in those. Maybe we do. But at the token project level, that's where I'm hoping we see an immediate difference here. So we'll see. We'll see how quickly the SEC changes course here. I hope it's immediately, from the sounds of this article. It may not be, guys. It might not be. Still, really exciting to hear things like this. This is great. Cynthia Loomis saying what she said many months ago, that we're going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Donald Trump has echoed the same thing. I believe the goal was to buy, I think, guys, it's 200,000 Bitcoin a year for the next 5 years, which would be incredible. Absolutely freaking incredible. It's hard to even picture how bullish that is for Bitcoin prices. And at that point, I really have to wonder, does this cycle play out like a normal cycle? As in, a lot of people saying the top of this market is going to be early 2025, right? Early 2025. And what that means for the rest of the year, I don't know. I don't think we're dead the rest of the year. In fact, I think the rest of the year is fantastic. But peak of the market early next year, unless this happens, unless the United States does start buying that Bitcoin, again, 200,000 a year, I wonder if this cycle isn't our typical 4-year thing, if instead this is a multi-year, very euphoric run, something we maybe haven't seen before. In fact, I got to see if I have this bookmark still. Was it here? Yeah, I think this was it. Back to one of the first comments we had here. Again, this is the CIO of Bitwise saying we're going to have a strong bull market for years. Could that be what plays out? Do you guys see that playing out? Do you see this market not peaking next year, but instead maybe the end of next year, maybe the year after? Maybe this is something that's extending years. Could that be? I can't do any more than wonder, but I certainly can see that happen. I could see it. Cynthia Loomis making comments yesterday on Fox. I'd like to hear this. I haven't played it yet. I want to hear it fresh with you guys, but let's check this out. Also, this is, I think, where she's talking about the holding Bitcoin as a reserve.
No central bank digital currency. I'm so happy about that because that's a means of surveillance of the American people. But we want to make sure people can have individual wallets for their Bitcoin so they have that sovereign over their own money. We know we want the US dollar to remain strong. And actually having Bitcoin in reserve can help the US dollar remain strong. No central...
I like it. Okay. Nothing remarkable there, but I'll listen to her talk anytime. She's as pro-crypto as you can get. So love hearing that. And I wonder, look, Donald Trump's putting together a crypto council, which I love. Would she be on it? She'd belong there. I could say that. Man, the market's very optimistic about everything happening here. Coinbase stock up yesterday. Robinhood stock up. But it was the whole stock market, guys. It wasn't just crypto companies. Everything up. Green across the board yesterday. Fantastic. Wow. 1.28 trillion, guys, added to the stock market yesterday. Massive day. And crypto seeing similar gains. Let's peek right now. Let me refresh this. See how we're looking this morning. Still up. Although we touched 76K yesterday, so another all-time high, kind of pushing all-time high throughout the day. Right now, just under 75K for Bitcoin, up 1.4% in the past 24 hours. ETH over 2,800. ETH may be finally starting to make its move. I see a lot of great bull posting out there about ETH, by the way, which is exciting. Look, I'm starting to see those predictions of 20K ETH, 30K ETH. It's possible. It's possible. I know things have changed. I know the conversation around Ethereum's changed, but at the core, Ethereum is an incredibly strong network with a huge base of users, with a tremendous amount of building happening on it. ETH at 2,800 maybe doesn't make a lot of sense right now. Gravity, interesting. You said it yesterday. He's saying it again today. Stock market's putting in a top right here. As bullish as I see conversations out there about the stock market, about crypto, there's still a lot of stuff that I think has people worried. The housing market has people spooked. We are getting rate cuts again before the end of the year. But I do see a lot of talk still about recession. It's very interesting. I don't think we should assume it's a slam dunk out there that this is an up-only market. It may not be. Gravity's prediction here scares me a little bit. By the way, announcement about rate cuts coming here, I think in just days. In fact, I'm going to pull this up real quick on my other screen. I've got a calendar of these significant dates here. I think that's this week. Lemon, 7.5% up on ETH. What does it mean? Why is it going up? I don't like it. I bought ETH to be cucked. Yeah. Very lemon move. Probably a really smart move. Should peek at the dominance chart too, by the way. Bitcoin, ETH. All right, let's peek. Significant dates, November. Okay. Interest rates. Yeah, here we go. Thursday for us. Yeah, okay. Thursday's a big day for us. And unemployment claims. Is this where the market starts reflecting reality? I think, look, tinfoil hat, me, always wearing it. Usually wearing it. And I assume that there was a whole lot of fuckery in the market to make it look as good as possible. Right, just for the election. And we already know there's adjustments coming to our jobs numbers. That probably comes early next year. Might be by the end of the year, but revised down by, what was it? Somewhere up to 1 million jobs? Like revision down. So still expecting that. But hang on. Today, it's Thursday today. That's today. Interest rate decision today. Lemon or Gravity. Do you know what time this is at? This is usually in the afternoon. Is this like 1, 2 p.m.? But this is a big deal. This could actually send the market. Could have the opposite effect. We'll see. But that is coming, I believe, later today. I don't think this is a morning announcement. I think it's later today. Anyway, crypto looking really, really solid. We can say strong. Crypto looking strong. Now, ETFs yesterday, monster day. Monster day. On the Bitcoin side, 621 million in inflows. The BlackRock ETFs actually outflows. 69 mil. That said, a record day for total volume in the BlackRock. It's the IBIT ETF. IBIT, is that right? Yeah. The IBIT ETF. Over $4 billion in volume. So a monster day again. Outflows ended up winning there. But all in all, great day. I think this is probably a top 10 day for the ETFs. We saw some monster numbers just a week ago, though. And then on the ETH side, a really big day for inflows. 52 million in inflows there. So we'll keep our eye on ETH, see if it's finally time for ETH to make its move. Something a lot of us have been waiting for. Is it time? I think so. I hope so. And don't forget all the ETF filings that happened over the past couple months. Solana ETF filings, Ripple ETF filings. Those might be on a fast track at this point with Trump winning. So that gamble played off that Nate Geraci talked about. Those filings were just a bet that Trump wins. And if he does win, they got their applications in. So maybe a fast track for those guys. We will see there. Here you see, though, yesterday, again, the BlackRock ETF, $4 billion in volume yesterday. Altogether, 6.8 billion in total volume across the ETFs. Monster day. Monster day. Great stuff. Expecting a lot more of that to come. Now, over on the NFT side, guys, actually an uptick in volume there, too. I can't wait. You know, talking to OSF yesterday about NFTs, does he think NFTs have a resurgence? It was great to hear that he does think that. And I agree, I do. I think NFTs cook again at some point. I'm not convinced it's this cycle. I think they do great. I think we've got a really, really hot run in us still, but a super cycle like I was hoping for, like a repeat of 21-22, like this kind, I'm not sure we get that. I'm not. As much as I want it, I'm not sure it happens. I think maybe a cycle away from that. Still, we'll see. But here we go, 11.9 million in cross-chain sales yesterday. Sellers down, buyers down, transactions down, average sale price up. I wonder if we're back to that pattern that I thought maybe we were past, but when Bitcoin cooks, everything else kind of does not. Especially NFTs. Usually it's the crypto moves and then NFTs. And you still have a cycle between the crypto majors to then alts and meme coins. I think we need to see if those cycles still play out, but on NFTs and crypto, it seems like, yeah. And trade profits almost $1 million in the negative yesterday. Today, very close to $500,000 in the negative to start. We're halfway through the data period here already. But volume's trending up today, which is great. Over 7.7 million in volume so far. So on pace for 14 plus million today, which is pretty great. In fact, looking at the rolling 24 hours here, over 15 million in sales so far. So up 28%. There we go. Refreshed at 24%. And then your top collections move in the market here. D-Market, Pudgy Penguins, OMB, Guild of Guardian Heroes, Puppets. I think that's some kind of liquidity position, not a typical NFT collection. Dozuki, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Milady, and Node Monks. Man, I'd love to get to that point where we've got volume cooking where, geez, you guys think back to the NFT bull market. Volume would be 10x this, right? And literally 10x, $100 plus million days, which we barely see in a week at this point. So really looking forward to that. Remember back to those times where on any given day, it was Bored Apes doing 5 to 10 mil. That's what I'm hoping comes back. By the way, I'm itching to dive into some floor prices and see what's moving. So let me move this along, and I want to get to that. Top sales in the past 24 hours. Now, this sold a few days ago. In fact, what exactly is this? Because this piece sold for like 400,000 plus. I need to peek at this and see what that actually is. That might have been actually a transfer, moving the piece and some crypto at the same time. Maybe got categorized as a sale. I'll peek at that afterwards. But we did have some punk sales. Love to see that. An OMB, I believe that's a loan. Do we have an on-chain Rolex sale? That'd be great. You the Real MVP from Azuki. Big BRC20 bundle. Some Bored Apes. Some decent action here in the past 24 hours. Good stuff. More X copies on the move soon. Here you go. Doom Party. This is on auction or at auction over on Sotheby's. Brand new bid of $750,000 here. Nice. Right, we look at X copies kind of like we look at CryptoPunks, like leading indicators for NFTs picking up steam. And I'm not seeing like a ton of action in the X copy sales spot. Although Deathless, almost 25 ETH yesterday. Oh, keep my eyes here to see if we start getting an uptick in this. Cope Salada, that piece over on the Shape L2, 2 ETH. Man, what a win for anybody who got to mint that recently. Good stuff. Yeah, keeping my eyes just in general over on the X copy sales bot. We see that tick up. We see CryptoPunk sales. And then look out, it might be NFT season. Now, quick note, the Beeple party, the Beeple election party. What's up, DeYank? Good to see you, man. Oh, Lemon, by the way, thank you for the update there. Okay, the FOMC meeting about interest rates. That's coming. Yeah, I guess that's like 2 p.m. Eastern time. So, yep, very cool. Bank of England made cuts today. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, rates are coming. What is it? 25 basis points is what's expected here. Love to see it. Okay, the Beeple election party. I think there was, well, two things. One, it was announced there was a stimmy to the first 100 people to enter the party. Still don't know what that is, but you guys saw there was a hot dog eating contest, and there was a prize for the winner there. It's a physical print. See if I can blow this up. Physical print, but signed by Beeple. That's a hell of a prize right there. Yeah, hell of a prize. It's on eBay already. This was posted maybe yesterday, almost right away. Threadguy, look at that. Yeah, so it looks like a collection of his dailies that feature Trump or Kamala. There's a Sproto Gremlin here. Man, these are great. Oh man, he's so awesome. I love Beeple so much. Moodang, love it. Love it. The Threadguy one's awesome. Man, that iconic photo. I saw an interesting post yesterday. How many iconic photos there were of Trump that came out of this cycle, right? The assassination one, the fight photo, you see it right here in the middle. Him driving the garbage truck, him at McDonald's. There was one other, trying to remember what it was, another pretty darn iconic photo too. And with Kamala, there wasn't any. And it's just one of those small factors that, in hindsight makes you think back to, what could have been done better. It was like that, just creating those moments, and she didn't really have any. Although hard to make those in just a 2-month short little campaign. But there you go. If that's interesting to you, if you want to collect that, $1,900 on eBay right now, or best offer, you could try to lowball it. But a physical signed Beeple, hey, I think in the long run, I don't know, man. I think there's some value to something like that. I do. I think Beeple's not like anybody else out there as far as significance. You know what I mean? Like, different dude. When we talk historic, we throw that around way too casually, but we talk about this art scene as historic, whatever. Some of it is. The movement itself is. As far as which artists are, it's probably just Beeple. You can make an argument for a couple others, but I could say it's Beeple. Beeple's the guy people are going to be talking about. Maybe it sounds crazy, but centuries from now, people will be talking about Beeple still. Man, love that. Love that. All right, moving on, guys. Magic Eden. I couldn't be more bullish on Magic Eden. You already know my thoughts. You already know my thoughts about Magic Eden. You know my thoughts about the ME token. But interesting here that the ME token, I believe, is going to do very much what you see right here, which is use it to buy any assets on chain. Well, Magic Eden's just integrated a token called G3. Okay? With G3, you can mint your NFTs. You can buy NFTs, and that's on any of the EVM chains that Magic Eden's onboarded, right? So, Ape Chain and Ethereum and Polygon and Base. And do they have Arbitrum? I think they got Arbitrum as well. I think Monad. Is Monad an EVM? I think Monad's an EVM. Barachain, I think, is EVM. I think. Don't quote me on that, guys. I should know this. I don't say. Right? When they integrate those, I believe that'll work right along right here too. But again, this G3 token, you can buy any of those assets with. Incredible. And I point that out because I think it's a big deal, and I think that's what the ME token will do. Only difference is I think that ME token will let you buy over on Bitcoin as well. And I think it'll let you buy runes. I think it'll let you buy fungible tokens on Solana, NFTs on Solana. I think ME is going to let you buy everything. That ME token, okay, I'm showing the G3 token, but it's the ME token. I think this is a big-time signal for what they're doing with it. I would make I bet a lot of money on that. Dude, speaking of which, what did I bet Henry $100 on? It wasn't the election, right? It was on OpenSea dropping a token. That's what it was. Oh, I love that. Lemon, that's fucking beautiful. The Trump trilogy. Trump the New Hope, and then The Empire Strikes Back, and here we have Return of the Trump, Return of what do we title it, man? I love that. Dude, somebody needs to make the 3 Star Wars posters. A New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi. Somebody needs to make that, but Trump themed. That'd be, dude, that's a Beeple project, I think. Good stuff. All right. We should have Jay Squiggle coming on here in about 20 minutes. I don't remember. Is Marfa? When is Marfa? Let me check. If Marfa's coming up this weekend, maybe we don't get Jay Squiggle today. Let me peek here. Marfa weekend is... See if you guys can beat me to this. Hang on. I think it's next week. Yeah, I think Marfa's next weekend. Okay, we should be good today. We should have Jay Squiggle on today. And so I'll show this. I'll steal his thunder a little bit. I'll show it because it's pretty fucking awesome news. Steal a little of his thunder here. But Jared with 8Naap Art announced a new emerging artist program. This is fantastic. Supporting, nurturing, I'll say this, new artists. It's not the existing guys. It's not somebody like... man, who did he just have on? Not Data Velvet. Dude, I need to get some sleep or something. More coffee. More coffee. That's what it is. Anyway, it's not these established artists. This is like an artist incubator. This is an artist. This is somebody who's going from, as he's saying here, collector to artist. And how many of you guys have wondered, what if me? I'd like to learn. I'd like to make art. I mean, you see how some people have made that transition here in the space over the past couple of years. Delta Sauce. I don't know if he was an artist before a few years back. I know he did like physical woodworks and stuff, but I don't think he was a digital artist. He was not an AI artist until the past couple of years here. But now you have Wim making that transition too. Really cool. Really, really cool. So again, this is an artist incubator program. I think that's probably the right word to use for it. But his debut through 8Naap. Man, I know this. He's in good. In good hands. I'm only saying they because I think that's what I saw elsewhere. But in good hands with 8Naap Art. And at least going by this preview here, really, really cool looking. So yeah, we'll dig more into that with Jay Squiggle here coming up. But love it. Staying in art too, by the way. Looks like Verse is integrating Tasos. Long time coming with this. Long time coming. So great to see. I did notice. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. But I think these are listed in ETH. So I don't know if that's just like a display error. I'm not sure because this is a Tasos collection, but that certainly seems to be listed in ETH prices. If that means you can buy on ETH these Tasos pieces, great. Either way, About Time also a really, really great update here. Tasos works on Verse. Love to see that. Yeah, I dig Verse. I dig it. By the way, that collection is collection's something. All right, kind of swinging back to one of our first topics here. Kind of. This is not in the Rect ecosystem, but kind of adjacent, coming from Mando. But the Epic token now has some new utility, a new partnership. Epic the Duck teaming up with Play Solana, which is really cool. Has these physical handheld gaming little consoles here, which is cool. But now you've got an Epic-themed handheld console. Is that the right way? I'm a gamer, and I don't think I'm saying it the right way. Handheld console? No. But here you go. The first 3,000 units sold get an Epic airdrop. Epic is the in-game currency for, I don't know what games, by the way. I don't know what games you're playing on this, but Epic is an in-game currency. Maybe they integrate in, the whole fleet of games they have. And 10% of referral sales are used to buy more Epic. All right, interesting. Does it move the needle? Yeah, I don't know. I like it, though. I like seeing the partnerships. Epic's turning into a thing, Like Epic's turning into... I'll pull that up in a second here to look at the chart. Epic's turning into slowly, I think, a real deal token, one that I might want to get a little position in. You know what I mean? Cosmos, yeah, the dodge of the bullets, and then Elon on board dude, it's incredible. It is. All right, over on Bitcoin. God, I got to get to Magic Eden. I want to peek at some prices here. But the Wizard BRC20 migrating to runes, I think that's open still. If you have Wizard, get moving. I think there's a point where it's cut off and you can't migrate anymore. And I don't know if you're going to get much liquidity if you stick around in that BRC20. So a heads up about that. Bullish for runes that a BRC20 is migrating. One as big as Wizard. Wizard's hot. So great to see that. Arkham launching a perps exchange. That's pretty interesting too. So trading right on the Arkham platform. This is more of like I always looked at it as like a discovery platform, right? People would do some on-chain forensics with it. Now you trade. So really, really nice new product there. That's the kind of trading I've never gotten into, but have always wanted to. So maybe it's time to dip my toes in. Maybe. But still, great to see. And then finally, not finally, I got another one or two topics for you, but Hudah yesterday. Man, she's teasing a meme coin, and I think she maybe launched a token. Let me show you this. I'm not sure what to think here. Tweeting yesterday her meme coin bags. In fact, I didn't zoom in to see what she's got. Let's peek.
So I've been in the meme trenches for a while, and here's what I got so far in my wallet. With my busted ass phone.
What does she got here? She's got the Bitcoin token, right? The Harry Potter, Obama Sonic, Inu, whatever. Mog, Giga Chad, SPX. What's this one? I can't tell what that one. I can't tell what these are. She's in some good ones. She's in 1, 2, 3. I don't remember if Mog is on the Murad list. I don't think it is, but she's in 3 Murad tokens. Which is funny because then Murad replies back. And then she drops a little list that looks like the Murad list, kind of, right? And then a token is launched called, was it Hudah? It might have, yeah. Things were feeling kind of sketchy for a minute there, guys. They were. There's a token launched. Again, we'll just say it was called Hudah. I don't know if it was, but token was launched, 50% of the supply sent to her wallet, or it was hers. I don't know. I don't think it was hers. I think it was somebody else's token. They sent it to her. But I guess this has been in the works for a while. Whoever's advising her has been really warming this space up for her to get accustomed to her here in crypto and to launch a token. Jingtao apparently was going to be like an advisor KOL for it. But I don't know what's real. I don't know what's real. Who knows? He might just be saying it. But look, we got Zach on the case to some degree. Especially when she launches it, he'll be all over that thing, I'm sure. But she did come out and say it's not her. I don't know. Okay, I don't care. I don't care who does what. It's on you. It's on whoever, is pulling the trigger and buying. I'm not buying anything she's launching. I don't touch those celebrity meme coins. The Iggy token, right, Mother? That's the only one that I think is worth a damn. I'm so impressed that she's stuck around and is building that the way she is. But none of the others that come in are doing what she's doing. They're not actually here working, grinding, whatever. They're not. They're just not. I don't think she's going to be either. I don't think. Maybe, prove us wrong. We'll see. We'll see. But she is saying it's not her token. Here we go. Yeah, there's your bubble map showing that allocation or how concentrated that was in her wallet. Again, she's saying not her. Somebody sent it to her. So, I don't know, guys. Does she get the benefit of the doubt? Has she been here enough? Is she one of us? I don't feel like she is, man. I'll say that. I don't feel like she is, but we're a welcoming bunch. So. Oh, dude, bummer news. Such sad news. Raegun retiring from breakdancing after just her sensational performance at the Olympics. You know what's funny? Like, when that happened, everybody, like, it was funny. It was funny, and the longer it went on, the more ridiculous, like, the stupider it got, to the point where it's not funny. I look at it, it's I don't know, dude. It's insulting to people who really do it. Like, she's mocking it in a way. I don't know. Who cares? All right, and finally, this caught my attention because I didn't think there was really a play here. Talking about the Disney pins, right? This is the collections over on Flow. First off, somebody referenced the Dr. Seuss stickers that I didn't even realize was rugged. They don't do that anymore. I had no idea. They pulled the plug on those Seussable stickers. So now we got the Disney Star Wars pins. I get the emails for those. I've wanted to collect them, just never pulled the trigger. So I saw a Beanie tweet about it here. I didn't know some of these have some value. Here's Adam Hollander talking about them. He's got a set here, paid $1,200 for it. He's got $6,000 offers for it. That's pretty fucking interesting. That's pretty freaking interesting. Honestly, it does make me want to look at them. It does make me want to try from. Look, I don't want to repeat a VV. I don't even know what my VV bags are worth anymore. I assume not much, but interesting to see some of these sets catching a bid here. Like, that's a 6X. I'll take it. So maybe, guys, it's time to start paying attention to these. Maybe. Any of you in it? Anybody collecting those pins? And without a marketplace, I don't know where you're getting those. I don't know what you're getting the offers from exactly, but yeah, that is interesting. Vibrant. Yeah, I mean, again, Adam's saying vibrant community, discords for trading, which you did have a lot of that in VV as well, right? The community found their own little market. A lot of scams in those too, by the way. So if you do get in, be very careful of that. Scams isn't somebody telling you, because these are like direct deals. You know what I mean? Like, it's like trust trades. So find like an intermediary, or make sure you're trading with somebody you trust. But at the very least, pretty freaking interesting. I might peek into that finally. We'll see. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious if any of you guys are in that trading, collecting, whatever there. All right. Before Jay Squiggle arrives, and let me get him a link here, but let's peek at floor prices. I don't know where we're at. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's down. I don't know how runes are looking. So let's dig into that a little bit. Here, let's get the vibe going. Fuck it, we'll start with ETH. All right, not bad. A mixed bag in the past 24 hours here. God, I would like to. I don't know. I'd like to see Pudgies higher. I'd like to see Bored Apes are at 11. That's actually not bad. I don't know. How many of you have been kind of unplugged from NFTs too? A little bit. 6-hole, yes. ETH memes, okay, I'm glad you said it. ETH memes are coming back. Part of it is people willing it to come back. People just want it to happen, but they are. I'm seeing a lot of talk about ETH memes. Good morning, Awful and Cosmos, let me peek at that tweet. I might retweet it. Maybe. It's weird. I feel all the energy sucked out of Dog. I do. I feel all the energy sucked out. I feel it kind of sucked out of Runes. I don't see his tweet, by the way. His letter to to Coinbase. So I'll come back to that in a second here, because we'll peek at Runes. Yeah, there you go. Pudgy's 8.4 ETH. Well, 84.5, really decent, really decent. In fact, let me look at the past 7 days. Wow. Oh, I'm surprised about that. Mostly red in the past 7 days here with the ETH NFTs. Again, this is probably crypto running, NFTs not, and that pattern that we used to see last cycle. To some degree, I'm surprised that's happening here. I am. Reason being, guys, I was wondering. Okay, I'm wondering if with Bitcoin, what do you think we're going to get? A 2x? A 2x, right? Maybe a 3x would be fantastic, but a lot of people expecting a 2x out of Bitcoin. We have so many more people here who are so much more experienced. What I was wondering is, 2x is not enough for most people at this point. It's not. I hear people talking about, I can settle on a 2x. I'm happy enough with a 2x. We talk crazy like that here. You know we do. So I'm wondering if the cycle doesn't play out the way it used to as far as crypto runs, then NFTs, because people are going to go chase the things they have bigger opportunities in, which is NFTs. Right? I think in some of these NFT collections, I think we see a 2, 3x easier than we see a 2, 3x in some of those cryptos. Maybe. I wonder, if I apply that to Pudgy Penguins, do I think Pudgies are, 17 ETH this cycle? Yes, but do I also think that would maybe be the top? Maybe. Same with Bored Apes. Do I think 20 ETH happens this cycle? I think so. Do I also think that's probably the top? I think 20 to 30 ETH probably is. I don't think we see these back at 50, 60, 70 ETH. I don't think that happens this cycle. I think that happens in the future, though. CryptoPunk's different to a degree. Do I think they get to 50 ETH this cycle? I do. Do I think CryptoPunks maybe get to 75, 100 ETH this cycle? I do. Azuki, do I think that gets to maybe 20 ETH this cycle? And you get like a 4x there? Yeah. But the point there is, I'm going to run with a 2x. Do you think you have an easier 2x? Let me go with 3x, because I think you get a 2x in most of these, as you will in Bitcoin. But we start getting to a 3x, that's where in Bitcoin you start being like, I hope, but I'm not sure. So these NFTs, do you think you get a 3x in Azuki? I think you get a 3x in Azuki, maybe before you get a 3x in Bitcoin, maybe. Do you get a 3x in Mutant Apes maybe before you get a 3x in Bitcoin? I think maybe, yeah. And especially in the Memecoin culty NFTs, in Sproto Gremlins, I think so. I really do. I still get with that line of thought from Murad that Sproto Gremlins, I think you might have a 10x there. And I think you definitely got a 10x. Definitely got a 10x in Apu. And of course, I think the same of Project Aeon, right? So I was wondering if we wouldn't see that the focus on cryptos and then NFTs, because I think you have outsized potential over here. And we're not seeing it play out yet. I especially think that's the case. Less in ETH NFTs, way more in ordinals, way more. Like, significant upside over here. And if I do the same thing, a 3x in an ordinal, like the top ordinals collections versus Bitcoin itself, let's look at Node Monks. And we can go even higher than that. But let's do the 3x. Do you think we see a 3x in Node Monks before we see a 3x in Bitcoin? Or I should say an easier 3x, a more automatic 3x. Yeah. Oh, man, absolutely. I think you see Node Monks back to 0.35, 0.4 easier, and maybe even before you see that happen in Bitcoin. I do think that. I think that's an easy one. Because my predictions, again, I still think Node Monks are 1, 2, 3 plus Bitcoin. I do. I think that's going to happen. So I think you have closer to a 10x in Node Monks. I don't think you got a 10x in Bitcoin. I'm pretty damn sure you don't have a 10x in Bitcoin. And the same applies to Puppets, and the same applies to OMB, and actually the same applies to Based Angels, and the same applies to Quantum Cats. So again, this is where I wonder if we don't get the Bitcoin cycle, then the collectible cycle, if instead it's collectibles run same time or even before, because people really want to catch that early. I still see it. I still see 1, 2, 3 Bitcoin floor prices for these top collections. I see it. I think it's going to happen. Oh, God damn it. Hang on. Let me get this link over to J Squiggle. So, Jared, I'm sorry, dude. Hang on. Oh, man. Idiot in full force today. Yeah, since yesterday. Okay, he'll be joining in just a quick second. So then let's then peek at Solana NFTs too. By the way, again, I'm kind of shocked at how low some of these floors are. I am. Yeah, I think they should all be much higher. Look, they will be much higher. They will be. One of your biggest opportunities, if it's not in meme coins, which is definitely there, but it's definitely in Ordinals collections more than it is in ETH NFTs. And then Solana NFTs, who the fuck knows here? Who knows? I'll go USD value for this stuff. Do I think Retardio Cousins get to 60K? I don't know, man, but their token's hot. That's one of those cult collections. Could they? Yeah, they could do it. They could do it. I don't know if much else here does. Although some of these prices are low enough where you're going to get those 2, 3, 4, 5, 10Xs in some of these things. D-Gods? Do D-Gods get a 5X? Probably. I don't know. I see a lot of interesting opportunities over on the NFT side. I really do. Mostly on the ordinal side, though. And then let's peek at runes real quick. Lemon, it doesn't make sense. Hang on, let me peek at some of these comments here. Jimmy, good morning, by the way. Offline art, absolutely. I can't wait for the art meta to come back. Alex Becker posted a video a couple days ago about prep work needed. Normies who haven't gotten exchanges set up yet. Yes, that's a great point. There was a long waiting period for some of those exchanges. Yep. Leonidas tweet. I couldn't find it. Asking Coinbase to pump the bags of the community when they seem to have no interest due to there being no supply for the exchanges. Yeah, okay. You know what he has to do? Leonidas needs to rally the community. He needs to do this. He needs to stop begging them to list. He needs to rally the community to get the community to raise and donate dog to the exchange. Right? He's got in his head, Leonidas has in his head that the exchanges, out of the goodness of their heart, are going to go buy the token on secondary, like right from another exchange. They're going to go buy it, and then they're going to list it there. No. You need to raise it like SPX did. You need to raise it, and you need to find that market maker, give it to them, and they give it to the exchange. That's how that's got to work. So, Jared, you good? Can I bring you up? Yeah, hell yeah. Good morning, sir. Good to see you, man.
GM.
How are you
How
doing?
are you?
Great. Yeah, doing well. How about you?
I'm like cautiously optimistic, man. Like,
Good place to be.
you know, like when like things are like feeling like they're ready to just break in the right direction, and you're like,
Yeah.
But I'm also like anxious because I have like I have a big one-of-one purchase coming up for my personal collection. I'll explain a little bit more about it later, or in a bit. But I'm transferring from like, you know, a traditional. This is like why I'm so convinced that the old banking system is doomed. I have to like convince somebody to transfer the money, even though it's my freaking money, right? And jump through all these hoops, sign all these papers. And then they're like, oh, it'll be like 3 to 5 days. And I meant to do this on Friday because I was like, I want to get it done before the election. I don't know like which way it's going to go. And I didn't get to it till Monday. And I'm sitting here like, the money's still not here. I'm watching like Ethereum.
Yeah, God damn.
You know, my purchasing power has gone down 15%. And I'm just sitting here going like, oh my God. So versus like a traditional market, or not traditional, a Web3 market where I'm like, you know, I want Solana. I just go on this exchange. I swap it. I do this. It's instantaneous. It's just, I sit there and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to like convince anybody to send me my money.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Okay, in the same way that we saw, especially election night, I talked about this just earlier today. So we saw really, it was demonstrated perfectly for us that traditional media is really dead. Like viewership for the election stuff was way down because it was all on YouTube. It was people watching, you know, their favorite streamer and stuff. And we saw that people were just watching people's tweets on X. Like old media is dead.
It's funny you bring this up, dude. I was like, because I don't talk about it a lot, but like PBD is like one of my favorite podcasters. I just like really enjoy his content and his like.
Who is it?
Patrick Bet David.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, like I love his story. Like he's an Iranian immigrant who like is self-made. Like now he owns part of the Yankees. Like the dude's just like he served in like the U.S. military, so he's like very like pro business, pro America. Really, really, my opinion. Again, don't roast me, but like positive perspectives on things. And but he had like 280,000 concurrent streamers. Like who knows, like what with people going in and out.
Yep.
But then I was like, just to kind of like play around with it, I was like, I jumped in and I was like, I wonder what MSNBC or CBS, and it was like their live streams were down around like 37,000. I was like, oh, like this isn't even close. Like
No.
not even close.
And it's funny because it's like just bouncing around, getting all the different flavors of stuff. I'd bounce between like Young Turks and then Tim Pool, and then I don't think Elon Musk had a stream, but there's just guys at that level, like just big name people who just got their own stream going on just for fun. There's crypto bros that were streaming and stuff. Like it's so fun to get all those perspectives live.
I felt like such a so I was running 3 devices. I was really interested in this election just for whatever reason. But like on my phone, I had another one I really like for like good is Breaking Points for like news. Like I don't know if you know them. They've been on like the Joe Rogan, and like the 2 hosts are like on opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's like really cool to like hear both of their perspectives. So I had that on my headset. This PBD was up on my TV. I was streaming it through my Apple TV, and then I had like another something going on. And like, I was going through like the traditional media on my iPad. I was, just to like be able to like, I know. I was like,
do you normally do stuff that way, like multiple things at once?
I multitask a lot, but not to that extent. But I was like I really, like I said, PBD had like a, but he like, dude, his stream was like awesome. Like he had like old mafia bosses on, like, God, I don't even know, but like Sammy the Bull, like just like people who are like legit, like, so he had like that, and then he had like Candace Owens, so that was like one end of the spectrum, and then he had like all these other, the guy from the Young Turks,
Cenk.
Yeah, Cenk was like streaming in, so it was like weird to like, but weird in the way that like it was something that you wouldn't get from to your point, a traditional media outlet, right? Like you had like Candace debating the Young Turks guy, and like it was just like, but then like other people were jumping in, so it was just like this really incredible like candid dialogue.
It's all people will ask for now. It's realness. Like we haven't had it for so long, so you give it to us real and raw and whatever, it'll work. It's what the
then like
want.
Breaking Points, like the 2 hosts were like debating back and forth. Like it was all done in a respectful fashion. I was like, this is what we're looking for, right? Like people were getting heated, which I think is completely okay because like you want to be passionate. But like it was a really, really I don't even want to say respectful because it's like at times like people were getting insulted, but like it was done in a fashion that was it honored each other's space, if that makes any sense. Like and that was like really intriguing to me because every time I'd flip to a traditional media, and like I don't have like, I'm not vehemently one side or the other, but like I'd be flipping in a traditional media, like I'd hop into Fox and I go to MSNBC. I just wanted to see like what was going on and what were the narratives. Because if anything, it kind of like helps me like fine tune my intuition. Like I had some intuition going into it, and like there's a certain data points that are like starting to have like confirmation. So I'm like, okay, like cool, like but I'm trying to pick it from all over the place. So, but yeah, it was a interesting time.
Yeah, that was a fun night too. It just was. If your candidate didn't win, I know it's less fun. I didn't vote for either of them, but it was, to me, a fun night. It's exciting. It's a historic night. I think it is changing the course of probably a lot of things. We'll see. A lot of things are said that could be super impactful, but just keeping it crypto focused, it's hard to not be excited about what's looks like is coming to crypto. And of course, Bitcoin all-time high, multiple times new all-time highs set over the past 24, 48-ish hours. 66 something I think we reached. I think that was the peak. How are you feeling about crypto right now? I think you said earlier, but what do you really think?
Yeah, that's
How
why
high
I'm
are we going?
cautiously optimistic, right? Like I mean, full disclosure, like even in my from my old corporate job, I have like a self-directed IRA through Fidelity. So I just moved everything into like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Nice.
I'm serious. I just feel like the downside risk versus the upside potential is again not financial advice, my personal opinion. It feels asymmetric at this point. Like I feel like that we're able to again, if you don't need the money to like pay your mortgage, if you don't need the money to like buy groceries for you or your kids, right? Like, and you're able to sit on it for a little bit, I think directionally we're pointed in the right direction.
Yep. I was telling my wife, I'm like a little frustrated. I have to cash out a little something, and I'm picking and choosing what I got to do. And I'm like, okay, the car is going to cost, I think, like $1,500 to fix. And I'm like, this is really costing probably like $5,000. It might be more depending on what I have to sell. It sucks because that's the opportunities that's right on the horizon, and it feels like it's so close, like so close.
Yeah, I mean that's part of like with this one of one thing is like I'm converting some of my soul bag into ETH to buy it. And like so I'll take a step back. Like I'm collecting a one of one, not a one of one, but like a series of art, commissioned art for my wife that she doesn't know about.
Very cool.
So it's a like there's a song from Rise Against that I really love, and there's like a verse in there that reminds me of her, and so like I just give the artist that prompt and I say like whatever art you come up with, like I'll we haven't negotiated great, and so like I have one coming that's predicated on that, but I'm like, oh, like I know this is directionally right, like I'm collecting for my wife, it's gonna have like amazing pieces in there. But I'm like, do I really want to cash out Soul right now?
It's hard. Again, if you're projecting like, okay, I'll go peak. All my price predictions are the peak euphoric part of the market, and I price everything in that. And yeah, it's hard to part with anything right now because of that, because of what, man, the potential for this stuff is crazy. It's fun seeing the predictions too. It's fun seeing people predicting 100K Bitcoin coming this year.
Yeah.
And if not this year, if somebody misses it, whatever, because I think everybody's sure it's coming at some point in this cycle next year for sure. But man, is it exciting to hear that, right on the horizon. It's exciting. I'll put it on screen here. Some comments that like, okay, the Bitwise CIO saying we're entering the golden era of crypto or golden age of crypto. It feels like that, man. It feels like not just the banana zone happening, because we've had banana zones before.
Yeah.
We haven't had the golden age of crypto before, and that is what it feels like. This does feel different. This doesn't feel like just a traditional cycle. This feels like, if it's not the mass adoption event where it gets like everybody in, like our friends, our family, whatever, it's certainly getting these kind of people in, state level entities in, companies buying more Bitcoin in a way they haven't. The United States saying we want to buy 200,000 Bitcoin a year, like that. That to me does scream golden age of crypto. And then this, I feel like we've talked about this too, but that, like especially people who work in the industry, I think know that this was happening behind the scenes. A lot of money wanted to come in, but didn't want it to come in without knowing what direction we're going. I don't know that the money would have come in the same way if Kamala won. It probably would have, but there probably would have been maybe stipulations and a little more cautious about how much and how and exactly when. But people were waiting to see if Trump wins. And if Trump wins, people are ready to just start writing checks. It feels like that's what I feel behind the scenes. And then hearing this is the CEO of Galaxy saying this, hundreds of billions coming into the ecosystem. It feels like that.
Yeah, I think for me it was like the election marked a point of like certainty, right? Like, and again, to your point, like maybe one had an advantage over the other, but like with that certainty now like baked. In full disclosure, I thought like there's gonna be contested results and all this, and it was gonna take a couple weeks. But I think with like that certainty, people are like loosening up the purse strings. And the irony of all of this is like, I don't think there's any coincidence, right? Like Raul Paul's really, done a lot of studies about this, about how like markets take about 10 weeks since, liquidity input in order to move. About 10 weeks ago is when China started inputting all of their liquidity into the market, and they haven't stopped. So I think that we're in this now with like institutions being like, okay, we have a clear direction. There's more liquidity coming. I'm really bullish about this because to your point about institutions, it's one thing for you and I to put a little bit in for more Bitcoin and more Ethereum. It's another for a family office or like a sovereign wealth fund. I mean, like if Saudi decides that like they want to put 2% of their allocation towards crypto, whatever they deem to be viable, like I mean, FU money isn't even like the tip of the iceberg for like that, right? Like, I mean that like it's unfathomable wealth to most of us normies, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just there's so many zeros on it that like it doesn't make sense, right?
Saudi royalty money hits different. Oil money hits different. It's a different thing, isn't it? And that is what's probably been here, but coming in a different way, man.
And then you start to realize that like I forget what countries. Obviously, there's like Venezuela who's been adding, but there's another like I can't even remember a small country who's been adding to like hedge against like certain like depreciation in currencies. Like there's a really interesting dynamic. And then like if Trump really does put Bitcoin into the reserve, like the validation, and then B, the amount of locked up supply is going to be like astronomical.
This guy is so fucking funny. This is probably really hard to read, but let me see if I can zoom.
Trump Jr. trolls. He was asking for like it was pretty funny.
This is amazing. Okay, so yeah, Donald Trump has quit his McDonald's job. I'm sorry. I think when he was on Rogan, Rogan said it to him too. He's got that comedic timing. He's a funny dude. I get I get people don't like it, but he's a funny dude. A lot of what he says is just trying to be provocative and funny, and some awful shit too. He says absolutely, but this is pretty fucking funny. I can't.
45-47. That's actually even more funny. I was like,
oh my God.
And I just saw, I was like, oh, okay.
Jesus, man. Incredible. All right, man. You had big news this week. In fact, did it just drop yesterday? Really cool news. I'll throw this up on the screen. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So this is something that I'm really passionate about. Thank you for bringing it up. At ANAP Art, like I call this an artist accelerator. I'm realizing that from a branding perspective, we got to explain what that means. But, our intent is to take artists and level them up. And my general target was some artists who had maybe had like a successful release and helping them like continue to grow their career. But the more and more I was out there and just listening to the market, listening to artists, like the need wasn't just for everybody. It's, everybody needs a little bit of help along the way, myself included, right? And so we developed this program called the Emerging Artist Program. And so Wim is, I should say, obviously, he's the co-host on Palettes and Perspective. And he approached me about this, honestly. And he's like, hey, I'm doing this on the side. Like, would you want to partner? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, I have this Emerging Artist Program. I'd love for you to be the Genesis artist on your Genesis project. Like, and it's not out, like, he hasn't shown any previews yet, but this is a fun collection. And it's going to be a low price mint. We haven't said it publicly, but it's probably gonna be 0.01, and it's a generative art, and it's gonna be combining a lot of his passions from traditional art, his inspirations. Can't give away everything quite yet, but like it's so again, little things like the 8 art pass holders get a free mint, and then for public it's gonna be 0.01, $20-25 if you want to support emerging artist. And it's a fun project, man. It's on its surface, it's so simple, but yet it's fun. And like, there's little corners of the algorithm that we've been like working on to make it super collectible. And he's very thoughtful, like very, like the thing I love about Wim is he's so passionate about like the space and the art that he's included that into his algo, right? Like, so there's like, this is gonna be released in Marfa, so it's gonna be like a fun, and so he's got like a tribute to Donald Judd, who's probably the best known artist in Marfa, and has like his concrete boxes and everything, and it's in Donald Judd inspired Snowfro. So we have a Snowfro piece, obviously, because this is a tribute to art blocks, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's like it's very clean, it's very fun, and it's something that I think I'm excited about. I'm really excited about it. But yes,
this is not a preview.
No. That's actually one of the pieces he owns. It's Photo Taxis, I believe, like Casey Reyes. But yeah, it's a snippet. You know how like people try to find like these emergent traits in things, like, so that's like just a little. To me, it looks like a cat, but
oh, funny! I saw a smiley face in it. Cat. Oh no, I can see that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, that's cool. Wait, so Wim was an artist before, and this is just the first generative collection, or
No, he's a so he's I don't know how public he is about his real career, but he has like a corporate career. He was playing with it on the side, but he's been a digital art collector for the better part of 2 or 3 years. Just absolutely loves the space, right? Like everywhere, like he goes to everything from VCon to to Art Blocks weekend in Marfa to NFT NYC. I mean, he's just there and he shows up and like he just loves it. So he's been a digital art collector, and then he started playing around with P5JS, and I think was able to connect. And in his personal post, he goes through this, right? Like he's always visited museums. He had done a lot of photography, and he kind of explains like he was always into. He's a pretty good skateboarder. I put it this way: he's a hell of a lot better than I am, right? And he's just kind of always had that like artistic twang, and like through generative art, he was able to connect with the passion that allowed him to have like the creative outlet that he desired. So
yeah. Dude, I gotta say, there's something really, really interesting about having this, like, again, accelerator, incubator, whatever's the best way to describe it. But okay, I know a lot of people in this space who have, it's probably similar to his story, have collected and have fallen in love with art, like grew to maybe appreciate it through this space. That'd be me at least. But that have wanted to like dabble or create, and this is really interesting for people who do that and then want to like take it a little more seriously. Yeah, I think you're onto something if that's what the goal of this is. That the next artist, it'll be a similar thing. Maybe somebody's first drop or an early drop, but helping people get exposure and experience navigating the art scene, like behind the scenes, the business side of it. Dude, fucking interesting. Really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's again like it's not just first releases. It's like maybe somebody who's got like dope art but hasn't had the mass exposure. It's really trying to platform people and artists that and it's cool. Like as a result of this, like I've had a series of DMs where people are like, "Hey, can you look at my art?" And it's getting to be really fun because it's obviously there's a resonance in the space to platform people and to accelerate their art. And so we're trying to find like really cool ways to integrate this. And Wim's like, dude, he's a student of, like I always say, be a student of the game, right? Like 2 of his favorite outputs, he printed 10 of them. He has like 10 signed copies. Like if people are minting, he's gonna hand them out. Like there's certain like giveaways and stuff that we're gonna do. Like at Marfa, I'm gonna have like what I call an 8 Naap house. So my Airbnb is like pretty big, and so we'll have people who can stop by. We'll have a QR code that like directs them to it. So yeah, I'm like really, really excited. Like, is this gonna be a barn burner? It makes hundreds of ETH for him? No, but it's like he's kicking down the door saying like, here I am. So it's cool. We've been like working on like what your identity as an artist, because like he has a really cool project, but I'm like with Delta, it's like, hey, I'm he's a nostalgia, right? Like, so it's not just AI, it's nostalgia. It's like the Norman Rockwell of AI art, right? Of the digital Web3. And you see that in his art, right? He's really good at pulling out nostalgia. So like being able to align artwork with like that identity, and it's not to say like identities can't change, like you can change as you go on, but like being able to have like a throughput. So this is what we're really working on behind the scenes.
I freaking dig it, man. Marfa's next weekend, correct?
Yeah, it's technically I think Thursday through Sunday.
Okay. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see. Well, first off, the drop, the collection, and then just to see what comes out of the weekend. Every single year it looks awesome, and it looks big this year. It just feels like it just keeps growing, but it looks like it's the special one.
So I'm going to talk out both sides of my mouth, because like it's an art blocks weekend, right? But there's obviously a lot of people, because it brings in such a high caliber of collector, people like set up shop around there. So like myself included, right? Like I'm doing a private dinner with like an amazing set of people. Like I'm so excited for this dinner. We're doing like a community breakfast. So anybody who is in Marfa on Saturday, where we're going to provide some coffee and Marfa burritos. And, so I'm doing events, right? But I'm also there as a collector. And I think that you know, when I first started going, it was like art blocks, art blocks, art blocks, and now there's just a lot of like ancillary activity. So even though there is a lot of great people and a lot of great stuff going on, like anybody who is going, I guess my challenge to everybody is still find a way to like honor art blocks, because we all wouldn't be in Marfa if it weren't for Snow Pro and the art blocks team, because they are it's I think we're gonna look back on this and be like, it was so influential, it was so incredible that it allowed for like this moment where you know, all of these elite collectors would just take a voyage to, you know, the desert. I mean, it sucks getting to El Paso. It's not like convenient. There's not like a lot of direct flights, right? But once you get to El Paso, then you have to drive 3 hours. I mean, it's like,
That's crazy.
yeah, like it's and now it's one of the most beautiful drives I've ever had. Like driving through the desert of Texas, you'd be like, oh, it can't be that amazing. It's actually like, it's stunning.
Huh,
it's
why?
like really stunning. The terrain is like nothing I've ever seen before, and then they've got these like yucca plants that like pop up with like a realistic set of like regularity. And I don't know how like the frequency isn't like overwhelming. It's not sparse. It's appropriate. And then when like, especially when you drive in like the sun, because I usually drive in the morning to get there, like when the sun comes up over these like plateaus, I mean, just the colors that like come out. I've never seen it before. Like, it's
That's
just
cool.
it's something that I'm like. I usually drive in with Aston, the Collector's Corner co-host, and I was like, dude, this is stunning. He's like, yeah, I've never seen anything. I was like, I've never seen anything. Like it's just something beautiful about it.
That's cool. I hadn't even thought of that really. I wonder if it's sort of like driving through the Everglades, where it's, you know, kind of a similar thing throughout the drive. But I don't know. I like driving through the Everglades. There's something relaxing about it. It's just different. It's like it is different scenery. You don't see that kind of thing often.
And look, I went to school in Northern California, and I lived in SoCal when my family did at the time. And like, so you drive, and it's like hill country. And it's boring. Like, so it's not like, oh, you know, there's nothing there. Like, that's boring. It smells like cow shit. Like it's like, you know, but this for some reason it's like flat desert with these like plateaus. I don't know. Like there's something different about it. Like, I really enjoyed it.
That's really cool. Really cool. Okay, well, man, again, looking forward to next weekend, seeing everything out of there, especially the whim drop, everything you're doing. Good shit. The art scene the past week. I'm a little unplugged. I've seen a couple things. I saw a big old X copy sale. I think it was Friday.
Yeah, it was.
There's a piece, and I'll pull that up. There's a piece at auction right now at Sotheby's. I'll throw that on the screen here. I think last I saw like a there it is, $750,000 bid on that bad boy, Doom Party. What's going on with X copy? Are we starting to see maybe a ramping back up? And then just in general, what other things, big sales have happened this past week?
So when it comes to big sales, there's not much, but I'll hit on this one that's up, the Doom Party. I believe this is like actually pretty special in the sense that it's one of three X copies that are, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, you can change like different dynamics of like what shows up in the art. And so there's like a couple different like levers and knobs that you can like pull and twist to like alter the appearance of it. So I think there's something like oddly unique about that. And I think that like, again, if you're into that sort of thing, if it's something that you can you know, you play around with, I just think that there's something special about it. Like there's something special about like even the characters that you see in like the Doom Party, like they show up in other like editions and one of ones. Like, yeah, you can see how like the hands like toggle on and off. So, and I think that that's like, I don't know the details on it, but it's like modifiable, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, do you know how and where or whatever you modify? I love interactive pieces. That I think that's what actually made generative start really click for me. Was the interactive. Like for a while, Tasos had like some really fun. They didn't have like events around interactive stuff, but there were a few interactive artists. There was a guy whose name is like Play NFT or something like that, and they just made really fun generative things, and you could just interact and play and drag stuff around or whatever. Like that's again, it caught me. The trait started unlocking a bit, but it just got me like looking and touching it more, which was really cool. But this is neat. I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, like the start of the second paragraph there, it's like continuously evolving. I just think that there's something interesting, like when it like when you're able to lean into the digital medium and have something that's like intuitively X copy, but like pushing the boundaries of like what digital art can be. So yeah, no, this one's really intriguing to me. The sale last week was Data Lords, and it went for 164 ETH, which is insane money. Which I was live
400
on my
something
Friday
thousand, right?
Spaces, and I said my prediction was 165. So I feel like somewhat. I was like, I don't think you can get any closer. I was like, come on, put one more ETH in there. But it's X copy is gonna sell, man, and Punk 4945 is just gobbling up everything. I mean,
Is that who bought this?
yep.
Yeah, wow. Really cool piece. I mean, every freaking piece of his is awesome.
I low key think this is one of the better one-of-ones that I've seen. I mean, this 4945 bought that just massive one for like 800 ETH or whatever it was. And the whole premise of that was like about like the integration of AI and the foresight that Xcopy had, and Cause had like this big write-up about it. But this kind of like seems like some sort of like ocular surveillance piece that I think complements that piece really well. So in some weird way, like a one-of-one diptych feels like oddly appropriate in this sense. So I'm glad 4945 got it, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, leave some for the rest of us. I don't have a spare 164 ETH, so I'm not technically a buyer, but man, it was cool to see this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so cool. You got any predictions for what this one ends up going for?
No, I have a pretty good feel on it, but with the interactive nature of it and the continually like dynamic changing, all it takes is two people to really like. All you need is like a 94 or 4945 versus Cause, or like somebody who's like, screw it, this is gonna go in my forever collection, and with deep pockets, and I don't know. With it being like only one of three interactive pieces, I think that there's something oddly unique that I can't put no pun intended. I can't put my finger on it, right? Like, and it could either be like, yeah, this is a reasonable sale, or it could be like something just like mind-blowingly high if you get two people who want something.
Yeah, I guess it all matters if you have those couple people at least. But do you think in general that because there's only three, do you think that limits a piece like this normally, or I guess like you're saying, if a couple people value that, it could just send it?
I don't think it limits it because I think it was like if there was only three in like this artist portfolio, like yeah, it could limit it because of just the amount of exposure. But at this point, Xcopy has like such a saturation point that people are now starting to collect around like certain aspects of his work. And I don't know if this is the first one, but he talked about, I think in the post he had on it, like he talked about how he worked with, I don't know if it was Transient or somebody for like a custom contract to allow this to happen. So like, again, I don't know if it was the first one or what, but like it's something like unique. And I think again, does it go for a lot? Obviously 750K is a lot. Does it go for some sort of mind-blowingly high number? It could. It legit could, because I mean, if you're like, oh, it's a one of one, but it's only one of three that's interactive, like I don't know, like I see these like interactive Beeple pieces selling for like 29 million, and I'm not saying or whatever the undisclosed amount is. I'm not saying that this is going to be 29 million, but I just think that there's something that intuitively is special about it, and I think that with it only being one of three interactive ones, there's just not going to be many opportunities. So if somebody says fuck it, I'm going for it, and somebody else says the same thing, that makes for a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the timing of it's really interesting too. I think we just keep looking at different sales to help gauge the market. This is coming at a really interesting time for the crypto market. I'm still just before you joined, I was talking about, I'm still waiting to see if we get the typical crypto then NFT cycle, or if something changes, if NFTs can possibly move earlier. I just think they have outsized potential. But we'll learn a lot. This actually closes today, so we might see just how back NFTs are just with this sale here. And it's also closing, and I think maybe it gets extended if there's new bids, but it's happening right around the time we get some news on rate cuts too. So again, this I wouldn't be shocked to see this cook just because the timing too. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it goes. Honestly, I think that I just think that there's something special about this piece. I mean, even Sotheby's has been known to like underscore their projections by a ton.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Like I think even like the Goose, they were like 1 to 2 million or whatever the number was, and they're like went for 6, right?
Good point.
Even
good
like some of
point.
the Fidenzas will be like 50 to 70,000. It's like, dude, the floor on it's 100, right? Like
Right.
you know, and I have my philosophy on why they do that. But
It's on purpose. Is that just marketing, like psychology?
nah, the way the contract reads is like anything over the estimate, they get an extra percentage on.
Oh, no shit,
Yep.
man.
Personal opinion. I'm not saying that's the business strategy. I'm not saying it's the business strategy, but you know, when you start to read the fine print,
Yeah.
it's kind of. But the fact that like historically they've underscored the estimates, and the fact that they're putting a high end of 1.5 on it, that's why I said like, and for something so special, look, I'm not knocking on Sotheby's. I think what they're doing is amazing for the digital art space. I want to like come out first and foremost and say that. I also think that they have this network of amazing high net worth individuals. So, you know, my guess is they're on the phones slinging this stuff. But what you're seeing, like the Botto sales that just happened, I think it was at Sotheby's last week or
Yep.
the week before. I mean, those two went to the to crypto native individuals or like digital art native individuals. So I, you know, this is something that like is a big focus on 8NAP is like expanding the horizon of digital art, right? So meaning not just selling to all of us crypto bros, but like expanding it, right? And my hope, and allegedly, like the Goose was a bid between a traditional collector and 6529. My hope is that like there's some sort of entrant into the space here. And I'm not saying they have to win, but like my hope is that Sotheby's is able to bring attention to it and potentially expand into you know the awareness of this. And I think that given their reach and their connection to the art market, there's a very high likelihood that they could do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize, by the way, there was a little bit of a bidding war with the Goose, or at least that it was like a non crypto native investor or whatever. Like, it's cool.
Well, at the time it wasn't public, right? Like I was watching it live, so you just kind of like you see, you know, there's people on the phone, you know, like they're bidding. You don't know who's bidding,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, the gavel goes, and come to find out it's 6529.
Yeah.
So
Oh man. What a cool thing. What a cool thing. Anything else going on in the world of art? Big mints coming up. Updates out there?
man, that's a great question. I focus on sales honestly, and kind of like where we're going. I've been, you know, actually I'll give some credit where credit's due. I'm a so actually, since you have it up on screen, RD did a great job and placed what I thought was really interesting. He placed Die with the Most Likes Genesis art piece.
That foundation one, right?
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool. Like, you know, it was 16.9 or something like that. Obviously, for the culture, to be able to one, you know, like have a cool Dies with the Most Like piece, but then more than that, like, you know, see that like somebody's like interested in going back into the history. So something feels like Dies with the Most Likes has transcended the typical like art, and like now people are digging into their collections. Like you saw VVD earlier in the year digging into some of the early Tasos work and picking up some of the Tasos one-of-ones. You know, then to see a collector, I don't think it's public who it is, but to go back and like try to get the Genesis piece for ETH, there's just something like, you know, Dice has like this this following that feels very actually we were talking about this yesterday about like community building and things, and there seemed to be a group of people surrounding Die that has like, and this is what you want, the diehards, like the evangelists, like the people who go to the church of Dies with the Most Likes, and like, you know, is gonna like preach from every single corner of Web3. And what's really cool is I saw this happen, and again, I'm not saying he's gonna be X copy, but I saw this happening with X, where people start to go and dig into like different corners, because that's the thing about this space, right? Like everything's recordable on the blockchain, but there's still not good aggregators. So you got to go find half this shit, right? So to find somebody who's willing to go through it and um, really spend the time and taking pride and then paying up. I mean, like let's call a spade a spade.
Yep.
You know, that's just short of 50 grand for, you know, that's not, it's not cheap. It's not for the faint of heart. All right. So yeah, that was really cool to see this week. And then just from a gen art perspective, like there's not much moving, but you know, there's there is a sizable amount of ringer sales. So now ringers are starting to like the floor is kind of like going down. So I find this like really intriguing that like people are slurping up. Ooh, did that one just sell on FX Hash?
Some hours ago, yeah, but the prices caught my attention because these were for me like maybe doable, but also not cheap, and they're
dang. I wish I haven't checked FX Hash for a while. I wish I would have seen that one because that one is so anybody who's not familiar with what's on screen, this is one of my favorite generative art projects of all time. It's Dragons by William Upon. Talk about Genesis. It's his first long form generative collection from the Mastro himself. And when you look at something like an Anticyclone that's selling for 2 to 3 ETH floor, I mean, this is an incredible piece. It's got this. The palette was called Mario Karty. He was inspired by Mario Kart, and you just get these like beautiful colors.
Hey, you know this collection well.
The confetti from like the Mario Kart celebrations,
man.
But they're hard to find. This palette, they're locked up. But 3,000 Tez is.
Yeah, there you go. I love when you know it so deeply that at a glance you know what I mean. You know the trait. You kind of have an idea of the rarity. You know, because a lot of people don't, and that's fine. But a lot of people don't, and that's how you find grails on the floor. A lot of times, people may not know that they have something really special, and you see stories like that often enough. But that is a hell of a piece. The collection's awesome. This is on my very, very short list of things I just need to have at some point. But
yeah, I mean, somebody obviously paid up for it, like from the floor. But like with it being 3,000, it's a good deal. Even the one on the floor, that's like a royalty one. That's pretty dope too.
Yeah, man, these are man, they're fucking great. I saw some Garden Monoliths. I think at least one move earlier in the week too. And you know, like X copies. I watch FX Hash's feed to get a feel if things are ramping up. Some of these RGBs from Cypher also moving. Trying to think of anything. Oh yeah, I think like 3 of these hollows. I think a few of those moved this week too.
So there's the GM. I think it was like, oh yeah, this one like for 4,000 Tez is like
that's
insane.
wild.
Insane.
Oh, like fucking. I wonder if that was just an offer out there.
It was an offer that was accepted. So, but I mean, the thing that's really intriguing to me is like 2 or 3 sales, and I mean, there's only 256, 255 of these.
Yep.
255, yeah. So it's like, you know, they're you know, when the attention comes back to Zancan, oh, you know, actually, because you and I both love Tasos art. Patrick Amadon posted about this week, and I engaged with it because I was actually gonna make a post. I haven't had time to do it, but like top 10 generative art on Tasos that you're sleeping on, and I was gonna do that because, you know, again, 255. Patrick tweets a ton. I don't know how he has like I know him personally. Awesome. I don't know how he has a tendency to like accomplish all he does and be this present on X, but yeah, he was posting about it, and he basically said like, when you guys figure out like you're sleeping on Tasos art, like it'll come back to you. What does he say?
Dude, I'll zoom in just so people can really read it. It's a great tweet.
Yeah.
Art on Tasos will probably be the thing which wasn't valuable enough at the time to warrant your attention, and will seem stupidly obvious in hindsight that it should have been. Yeah, what a great take. Great take.
So and because of that, I've been like slurping up grails on Tasos, because I do have that, like my mental model is 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're in a somewhat blockchain agnostic world. Things just function, right? So it's not gonna be like, oh, is that art on ETH? Maybe that's more secure and it's valuable, or it's the premier thing, art on Bitcoin. But like, you'll be able to view art and it'll just be art, right? Like, it's not like, oh, that was Tasos art. And that's really why I think that you know, Dragons in particular to me is like such a and Garden monoliths are such like an asymmetric upside. I mean, 255 pieces. Think about this for like, I'm going in between collections, but 255 pieces for a Garden monolith, that's not a lot, man. And they're beautiful. Like if you can get a stunning one for like, I mean, and there's been some that go in, again, not financial advice. I just think that there's an incredible opportunity, in my opinion, where, you know, for very low risk, you know, there's a ton of upside. And when the history of generative art comes out, like I don't see a world in which, I mean, Zancan's like the godfather of Tezos art, Tezos generative art. And the other part of this is like there's some really amazing additions that he's done that are like low key slept on. You can find them on Object, and I've collected and you know whatever. Jared's crazy. He doesn't, you know, Jay Squiggles is nuts. I don't have 6,000 Tez to spend. That's where some of these like additions are going for like 100 Tez, like what, 70, $80 right now. I mean, again, longer term play if you believe in the artist, but I mean, there's some just brilliant pieces.
What's interesting with Zancan too is if you think of like even a chart and, you know, kind of where he's at on his chart right now and sentiment and all that, it's kind of at an all-time low. It's probably just bounced off the bottom. He just did an appearance on the, God, what is the podcast? I love them.
It's not Waiting to Be Signed, is it?
Yes. Yep. There it is. Yep. The Waiting to Be Signed podcast. He's taken a break. He's taken some time away. He said he's not really, you know, maybe he's creating other things. He's not, you know, kind of focused on creating maybe digital art or NFTs or whatever, but he's taken a break and that will change. It will change. He will at some point have, you know, a different kind of desire to be back here. And if those are the prices now at that kind of sentiment low, the low kind, we're basically there for the art market, although it's not, you know, it's kind of back a little bit, but him specifically, yes. Yeah, when you talk about that potential, what do you call it? Asymmetric.
Yeah.
I see it there. By the way, I've never seen this piece, whatever this is. I've never seen this. I have no idea where that even came from. I've never seen that.
And again, I've never seen it either. I don't know how much it is, but I mean, again, 425 Tez.
That's fucking beautiful.
And most people don't know this, but you can go on his website and get this stuff printed, and he'll print it, he'll plot it, not print it, plot it, and send it to you.
Can I show you mine?
No.
It's not hanging on the wall. I've just got it propped up on a desk.
Dude, dope.
So there we go. What is that? Generative Springtime 02, right? I think that's what it is, or number 2. But it's his first piece using his algorithm that he uses in basically everything.
Yeah.
This is an edition of 100. I mean,
but that to me is like what the brilliance of like Zancan is. Like there's these accessible pieces, and if you can't do a garden monolith, maybe you do a kinder garden, or if not, you do an addition. Some of the additions are gorgeous. I mean, that's actually how I fell in love with. I collected this set of, man, who's that Tezos platform that kind of, I think it starts with an O also.
Wait, say that again.
The Tezos platform that he released a couple editions on that kind of went into oblivion.
Oh, Versum?
I think it is Versum. You're right. And like, so some of his editions there are like the most amazing editions I've seen of his, right? And like I started collecting them. Oh,
they're amazing. I have so many Zancans. This is one of my favorites, and I have one of those. He's easily one of my favorite artists, easily. But
yeah. But these lush temples are amazing, right? Like, and then like with the purple flowers, they predate all of this stuff. Yeah. There's some additions, there's some one of ones. Like, I mean, it's incredible, man. I just think that there's something like brilliant about it.
I almost don't want to say it. I'll say it because whatever. But like, knowing his collections and sizes and prices, a 76 edition here, and I can tell you people like this one a lot.
So I own that one. That was actually the first one I ever bought because I was like, this is stunning.
It's so good. God damn it, I don't want to say it. But 76 editions, and there's your price, and here's a 20 edition, listed at $1,900. The demand's not there right now. That new piece we just looked at is an edition of 15.
Yeah, I don't even know when that released.
It's just September. I had no fucking idea.
Me neither. It's part of his Lush Temples series too.
Yeah. If nobody scoops that up, I'm buying it when we're done. I am. So
Well,
I
the
shouldn't
cool
have
thing
said
about this
anything, but
is you can go into the history and see what people are selling it for. Then you can put an offer in that's like reasonable,
yeah.
right? I mean, there's an
Yeah.
offer at 165, so it's like put it in at
See.
225, depressed. You know, you can see what people minted it for. Give somebody a little bit of exit liquidity. But
Yeah, you know what? I don't even think I have any Tez too, which is a bummer. But I'm gonna try to lock that up right when we're done. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
well, and then just to go, we're digressing a little bit, but that's like so like you're trying to lock up some Zancan. I've done the same, personal and for the fund. I went and bought some like really rare dragons, right? Like there's a raw trait that's like only one of 6 in the collection. I think it's one of the most beautiful traits in there. And like and then within it, there's 6 pieces. One I think is like by far the best one. And my buddy Toth got to it first. And I got what I feel is like the second best one. And like so to be able to like have that and then be able to print it, put it up on a digital display, I see a world where like that sits in a museum. I'm just not smart enough to tell you if it's 2 years from now or 20 years from now.
Yep. Yeah, some exciting shit out there. That's for sure. Let me think if there's any other quick points to hit before we're out of here. I don't know. Anything on your mind or?
The thing that's on my mind is you touched on it earlier is like when NFT cycle, and I really would like to look. I run an investment fund that's focused on digital art, so like I'm thinking about this not even day in and day out, but like every second of the day. I think that like one of the challenges for me is also, if you are an art collector, think about the things that you may not be able to replace, right? And it's something that I'm having I'm thinking about for my personal collection, and I'm thinking about it from, the fund's perspective, which are 2 different perspectives. But like when you have the opportunity to collect something, especially these days, if you can, acquire something that brings you a ton of joy, like, find a way to do it, like connect with people, because I think that, just like Patrick Amadon talked about, like this is, it will look simple in hindsight. I think we're going to look back at this time and be like, oh my God, I had a chance to buy a garden monolith for 4,000 Tez or $2,500 or whatever it is, right? Like, and $2,500 is a lot. I'm not doubting that, especially when you're looking, a $5,000 car repair, like, like it's not something you want to be doing. But if you're truly an art collector, there's some really amazing collectors out here, like assembling some of the most amazing collections that I think are going to age extremely well. Full disclosure, like I don't have the money to be competing against with like, oh, dude, I love watching this. Just this like plotting stuff. It's like therapeutic.
Lemon was asking what plot means, and I was like, oh my God, we have to show it then.
Yeah. No, I apologize for not doing that, but like it's literally like there's this subset of like generative artists who create algorithms that are plottable, and what it means is like you have literally this machine robot. You put the art into it, and it will draw it for you flawlessly. I mean, this takes hours of work for a machine to plot, right? And it's like so much detail. I mean, so actually one of my favorite artists is James Merrill. He's an amazing artist. He did Ori, which is their Art Blocks curated collection. He's going to have like a plotting exhibition at Marfa. So,
oh wow,
yeah. But like the cool thing is like you can, like, and then one of the 8NAP artists, Corey Haber, like he plots with like acrylic and different materials, so it's not pen. So then you get these like machine-induced plots, but it's also subject to like real-world materials, like in acrylic. Like when you have an acrylic like stick, sometimes it's going to chunk off a bit of paint, right? And then when it comes back for the next pass, like that chunk's going to be in the way, and it's going to like alter it a little bit. So like there's something really fun. There's some really fun dynamics to plotting. Plotting's like, I think I was like 2 years ago, I was like incredibly bullish on plotting, and it just didn't take the way I thought it would be. But yeah, I'm still super bullish, because the cool thing about this is like when you have like algorithmic things, like anybody who has a plotter at home, like a plotter you can buy, it's like a 3D like printing machine. Like they're accessible, right? Like you can go and like plot whatever art you want. You don't have to go to a printer. You can just have it done at your home.
That was a cool way I did see it take off. Was I saw more people learn what plotting is and decide to get a plotter for themselves and take artwork, and artists who provide like the code to be able to plot it. Like it became like a little hobby for people, which was pretty damn cool.
Yeah. So anyways, I digress, but my thing is like, I challenge people to like try to find the pieces, the art, or even like if you can't afford it now, we're all gonna be like these, crypto wealthy as a result of the bull market. And if you want to come back to it, I think that's where I'm looking at the thesis here is like, yeah, I think people are going to have like, whether it's meme coins or other things like this wealth and rotate into art who are art lovers. I also think from a longevity perspective, there's going to be, my hope is that through the cycle, we onboard more people, right? And then all of a sudden the base of collectors is bigger. And then they enter the market, get these pieces. I'm really, really intrigued. And this is part of the reason why I'm talking about like securing grails now. I just think that like somebody like myself is going to hold on to pieces for 10, 20, 30 years, and they're not going to be accessible, right? Like that's why this like X copy one is like, an interactive, there's only 3 of them, an interactive X copy piece. Like when's the next time one comes up for sale? We don't know. It could be 10, 15 years. It could be. I'm not saying it will be, but and that sort of like the behavior behind humans and how they perceive scarcity and a desire to have something is incredible. By the way, on X, are you experiencing like, I literally just had like 100 plus followers like evaporate overnight. I was like, what just happened?
Dude, from time, it's bots. It's fake file. It does happen. It definitely happens. I don't see it as much lately, like sometimes 10, 20, but I've had days with that. For sure.
Yeah, I was like, I know you were going over my follower count. I was like sitting there, like, because the other day I looked, I was like, I thought I was it. It just like disappeared. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It sucks. It's all so gamified still, but I bet you they pop back up too. Once people are picking your account to do stuff with, then they usually back and forth. Interesting.
I haven't hit critical mass quite yet, but
it's coming. And especially with what you're doing with this cycle that's coming, and I still think the art meta happens, I think it's gonna be spicy. I do.
I think so too.
Dude, good shit. Everything you're doing is awesome. Excited to hear from you after Marfa next week. Will you be on the show next week?
Yeah, it can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, obviously no pressure. I just didn't know if you're out there at that point. Thursday.
No, I am. I'm out there in the morning. I don't have anything booked for Thursday.
Okay. Well, good shit. Then looking forward to chatting you there. Guys, make sure you're following Jared at Jared_pause POZ. And also his Project 8 Naap_art. Follow them both, guys. And then you can follow us at CryptoSlamIO. Hope you have a great day, guys. We'll be live on the afternoon show, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. We had OSF on yesterday, which is fucking awesome. We've got it was super
awesome.
cool. Yeah,
He's awesome.
He's so cool. Yeah, I had never chatted with him before. First time, he's awesome. I think we have, God damn it, I mixed the two up, Enzo or Adzi. I can't remember. It's Henry's friend on the CyberKongs team. He'll be live with us today, so should be a fun one. Hope your guys' day is fantastic. I'll see you in a little bit. Peace. Do I do the outro song? I can't remember on this show if I do. Do I normally do the outro? I don't remember. I'm just going to kill it. I'm not.
I've been missing the intro because it's the project starts earlier now.
That's right. No outro. Just out of here. See you guys.